Hola a todos! I hope this video finds you well today. I am coming at you today to discuss the imperfect tense. And as you know, in Spanish, there are two past tenses. We have the preterite and we have the imperfect. Now, this video discusses only the imperfect tense. If you would like to have more information about the preterite, there is a separate video on that topic. I have to say that the imperfect tense is one of my favorites in Spanish. I also think it's one of the easiest for students to learn because unlike the preterite, there are not that many irregular verbs in the imperfect. There's actually only 3 in the entire Spanish language, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. I want to talk to you a little bit about when to use the imperfect as well. The imperfect is usually translated as would or used to in the past. So when I was a kid, we always used to go to the beach every summer, or um, whenever she was a little girl, they always used to buy her Barbie dolls. That's the imperfect tense. It's usually an ongoing or habitual action in the past. And for more information on differentiating between the preterite and the imperfect, there's also a separate video on that called Preterite versus Imperfect that you can check out if you wish. Let's first talk a little bit here about how to conjugate in the imperfect tense. As you know, in Spanish, all of our verbs end in AR, ER, or IR. We're going to begin by talking about AR verbs. So, when conjugating an AR verb in Spanish, you're going to remove the AR. And for your imperfect endings, you're adding back aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, and aban. So if you were to take a basic verb like hablar, if you want to say I used to talk, you're going to say hablaba. You used to talk, hablabas. He or she used to talk, hablaba. Notice that the yo and el, ella, usted form are the same in the imperfect tense. Nosotros hablábamos, vosotros hablabais, and ellos, ellas, ustedes hablaban. For an ER or an IR verb, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to remove that ER or IR, and we add back a new set of endings. In this case, we're adding back ia, ias, ia, íamos, iais, and ian. So take a basic verb like beber, to drink. As we remove that ER and we add back these endings, we get bebía, I used to drink. Bebías, you used to drink. Bebía, he or she used to drink. Bebíamos, we used to drink. Bebíais, you all in Spain used to drink. And bebían, they or you all used to drink. These are your ER and IR conjugations in the imperfect. So remember aba and ia. I told you before there are 3 verbs in the Spanish language in the imperfect tense that are irregular. These 3 verbs are ser, ir, and ver. I always tell students to try to memorize the yo form here. If you can remember the yo, the others sort of magically appear in your brain. So with ser, you have era, eras, era, éramos, erais, and eran. These are your ser conjugations. For ir, in the imperfect, we have iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, and iban. And for ver, we have veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, and veían. Honestly, you can tell that ver isn't really that irregular. Instead of taking off the ER and adding ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, and ian, we've just really taken off the R and then added our regular ending. So it's not that strange. If you can remember era and iba, you're going to be in good shape. Okay, so as always, if you want some repetition or practice with the imperfect tense, Conjuguemos is a wonderful website. It's like multiplication facts for Spanish. It's super awesome and helpful. You can just review and drill those until you have them memorized. It's very, very helpful. But please do make sure you know all of those. I also want to give you a chance to practice with these as always. So I'll do one with you here, and then I'm going to let you try numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Number 1 says, En mi familia, nosotros siempre comer panqueques los domingos. So in my family, we always used to eat pancakes on Sundays. So our verb here is comer, to eat. You know that our subject is nosotros, or we. We're going to chop off our ER in comer, Because it was an ER verb and we're using the appropriate nosotros ending here of íamos, our final answer should end up as En mi familia nosotros siempre comíamos panqueques los domingos. We always use the comíamos. Okay? I'd like for you now to pause your audio and please give numbers 2 through 5 a try. When you're ready, you can unpause. All right, now that we had a second to look at these, let's talk about them. Number 2 says, Mi mamá nunca me cantar canciones. My mom never used to sing me songs, which is not true. But we're going to take cantar. We're going to chop off the AR. In this case, we're talking about my mom or she, ella. So my ending in this case should be aba. Take off my AR in cantar and add back aba. You get cantaba. Mi mamá nunca me cantaba canciones. Number 3. Ricardo tener 5 años cuando rompió su brazo. So Ricardo only had 5 years, or he was 5 years old when he broke his arm. In this case, tener is to have. We're going to chop off our ER in tener. We know that the appropriate ending for he in this case would be ia. So we're going to say that Ricardo tenía 5 años cuando rompió su brazo. He was only 5 years old when he broke his arm. Okay, number 4. Yo descansar cuando mi madre me llamó. I was relaxing when my mom called me. Descansar is to relax, to say I was relaxing. Remember that when we remove the AR in the imperfect tense, we add back aba. So you should get yo descansaba cuando mi madre me llamó. And number 5. Cuando ellos eran niños, nunca comer verduras. So when they were little kids, they never used to eat their vegetables. Well, we know that they is our subject in this case. For comer, we're going to chop off our ER. And in the ellos form, we're going to add back ian, making our final answer comían. I hope you found this video to be helpful in your exploration of the imperfect tense. As always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Hope everybody has a wonderful week. Take care.